Another week, another podcast. I know. I
All
say
right,
that
brother.
every week. Say that every week, and I mean it every week, right? What's happening? What's new in Toy World? Anything good?
Nothing.
Kind of everything's like, kind of like the election, right? Everybody's just hanging on for
Still
Friday.
in limbo.
Yeah, just like what are they going to do to us on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
Is it this Friday?
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. Friday at noon, our time, right?
Right
Yep.
on.
I don't know. Maybe it won't be too bad. I don't know. Excuse me. So, feels more like fall around here, or at least the end of summer.
Love it. I love it.
Much more coughing like that made me think of it because it's now all of a sudden too dry.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah. Lovely. Lovely. So, anyways, we got a few things to talk about, right? We got Friday to talk about. Any finds that we may or may not picked up last week, or possibly two. HasLab's up tomorrow, correct?
Right.
Oh, is it tomorrow that airs that?
Yeah, the 9th, right?
Mm-hmm. Tomorrow.
Yep. So tomorrow is it on the HasLab, and I am somewhat curious. Those are your numbers as of what? Basically right now, right, Shane?
6 o'clock is when these were.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I don't think
so
they changed.
basically right now, yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't change all that much. So 20,532, correct?
Mm-hmm.
One
it's,
day.
641 now.
641. Yeah.
20,641.
Now I have to tell you, I'm somewhat curious with Emily's comments during Comic-Con that, oh please, just go pre-order it. You can cancel later, right? We won't charge you right now, is what she was saying.
Yeah.
I'm somewhat curious to see if that's actually going to be a factor in some of these numbers. I don't know, as they'd report them. You guys, would they? Does that number reflect cancellations? I guess that's a good question. Right?
I believe if it's canceled now, it is, but if they cancel after, I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, right? I mean, I think there's a part of them that didn't really have as much confidence in it this time around, and
I raised the question earlier that do we think that maybe they might drop another tier if it hits 22,000?
Hello.
Boy, I tell you what, it could have been a, especially where there's a year and a half out, and the extra figures are repaints anyways.
Mm-hmm.
To be perfectly honest with you, they could have done it. They could have given us a generic Cobra pilot,
right?
Maybe a Strato Viper or something, right? I mean, something. It would have been a real nice peace offering to the collectors, wouldn't it? Because let's face it, things haven't gone great. Recently,
it's weird when you go back and look, because I look back. Was it last night or today when we was talking about it in chat? So the hiss come with the driver and the gunner. Yep. The tactician was an early bird if it funded by so much within that first 7 days. The only tier figure was Cobra Commander, the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander.
Now the gunner was a tier.
No, it wasn't. Go back and look at it.
No, that's right, because it was all the add-ons. That's right, you're right.
The add-ons. The rocket launcher was the first.
They had the machine guns.
The retro canopy was the second one.
The retro canopy was the second, and then the gun.
Yeah, the tread plates, the armor plates for the sides of the carrier.
So they put 3 figures in it. One of them being an early bird.
Mm-hmm.
So right off the bat, if it just hit the first mark by 7 days, you got the hiss and 3 figures right off the bat.
Right.
The Dragonfly was only 1 figure, Wild Bill. No early bird on it.
No.
Then the 3 tiers they weren't no add-ons, they were figures.
Yeah.
Because you had 4 figures. You had Glinda, you had Night Force, what was it, Crazy Legs, and Night Force Airborne.
Yeah, you're right.
So now we got the Rattler with 1 figure, Patches, which everybody's all crazy about. I know. And then you got a gunner and a Baroness. So if you buy two, I guess the Baroness pilots the other one, and the gunner does. You get another gunner. So I don't know. I mean, it's like, but
I would have really loved a ground cruise personnel with that. I mean, that would have been something great, for me. To be honest.
So many, really. I mean, I know probably 25th offers up a lot of options for different Cobra troops, aircraft related, right? Cobra troops that the OG line didn't necessarily have that I can remember, but it's out there. I mean, if they can deep dive for Glenda, they should have been able to come up with something else for a figure or two with a Rattler. That's.
So let me pose this question to you. What y'all were saying a minute ago about Emily saying, fund it, you can always cancel.
Mm-hmm.
Is it they're pushing so hard to get it funded so they can produce it, even if they have a bunch of cancellations and a bunch of them left over? Is it so they can get it produced where they will have the mold so that they can go back and offer, say, like the Tiger Rat for a PulseCon exclusive later? Are we going to start
sure
seeing
that's going to happen.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
I mean,
they say they won't be offered again, but that don't mean they can't paint it up in another, lose the electronics and paint it in a different color.
Right. They never said that a subline of it would not be produced. They always just said that particular item would not be produced for retail.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not just going to do away with those molds.
Yeah.
I mean, or at least I hope they're not that dumb, because that's money.
Well, I got to tell you, I put my.
We're talking about Hasbro too, also.
Well, this is the thing. I think was it last week that I said that I really didn't think that Hasbro had gone on the cheap necessarily with this HasLab. But I have to tell you, I finally got my act together enough to put my my Stinger in the case, in the display case with my other Joes and the Hiss specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I got looking at that, and you got a $300 toy, and you got a $100 toy, right? 2 years apart, but you got, I have to tell you, the Hiss was a tremendous value for $300.
I believe so too.
Right? It was. With the figures, the extra, all of the add-ons, the extra canopy, all of the extra armor to go vintage if you wanted to, blah, 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 blah. The figures, all of it. The Hiss was a huge value, right? And then I'm looking at it going, you know what? That Hiss isn't all that much bigger than the Stinger with one figure for a third of the money, right?
Yeah.
So then I got thinking about what's the Dragonfly and what's coming with the Dragonfly. And I will say this right now, for $275, I think the Dragonfly was definitely value, right? Because we're at $25 a piece for these figures now. Right?
Yeah.
So you start talking about $100 worth of figures right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
In both cases, actually, right?
Yeah.
$100 in figures with each of them. Then I got thinking about the Rattler, and I have to tell you, it's not even close to the same value. Not even close to the same value. It's more expensive for one, and there's 3 figures, not 4. There's no add-ons whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
To the aircraft itself. I've changed my mind. I think in some ways, Hasbro did go on the cheap with this, and the patches were on the cheap.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say the Rattler was an even better deal because you got the patches, which would probably value at $50 a piece.
Oh, easily, yeah, 50. Oh, yeah, $75, $80 a piece. Easily.
Yeah, them things will be wild on eBay.
Yep. Oh yeah, those patches will be worth more than any jacket you could ever sell them to. It's just It's very crazy. Like I said, I changed my mind. It's funny. Just looking at the Stinger. The Stinger is easily 3/4 the size of the Hiss. It doesn't have the electronics, but it's just like the Hiss was a good value, a good buy. Same with the Dragonfly. But
next year we'll get
their
battle.
antler isn't.
Next year we'll get battle ribbons. Remember when they done the battle ribbons with the
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Corey asked, "What do we get with the Dragonfly?" You got four figures: Wild Bill, Glinda, Night Force Crazy Legs, Night Force Airborne. That's what you got.
Yep. And it was, like I said, it's $50 cheaper. It's 275. Dragonfly was 275, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, it was a good. It's good.
I mean, hey, if they just come back and said, "Hey, we'll throw in another Cobra pilot if it hits 22,000," I'd be happy with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you want to troop build it anyway. So.
Or just a grounds crew. I mean, that was what I would love to have.
It's very. They're like I said,
just a pull behind, a single missile on a cart that he could pull behind, for loadout. That'd be cool with me.
Let's talk about Corey's comment there. I have to disagree with that because I looked at that lowrider and that is a cheap piece of plastic.
Yeah,
it's nowhere near the quality of the HasLab stuff.
Not at all.
I mean, nowhere near the quality.
Well, it's just like the Stone Cold Steve Austin big 4-wheel drive. I looked at it the other day and it's big, but it's cheap.
Yeah,
it is cheap. I agree with John on that. There's no comparison to it.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of detail in advance.
Isn't that the difference between a child's toy and a collectible? Because let's face it, the Stinger and the Vamp are both collectibles. They're really not toys. This stuff for the WWE and like that, those are toys. Their intent is 95% of their target audience are children that are going to be bashing that thing into the dog and the couch and their younger siblings and everything else. Who cares if it's cheap? Because, I mean.
Yeah, so I mean, it's about the same.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind. I don't look. I say that I don't mind paying $100 for the Stinger or the Vamp because they're very nice. And $25.
That's what we were talking about. That's the Vamp and stuff. Their quality is way better than WWE stuff.
This was $60 and it has light up features.
Right.
But it's still, look at the detail. There's no detail really in it. I mean, you got a steering wheel and a smiley face.
Yep.
I mean,
that's a cartoon toy.
I know the Batmobiles and all have electronics and all in them, but they still don't have the amount of detail as what the HasLabs have. I mean, I have to give Hasbro credit. They put the detail in it. You look in there and look at the dash, you see the gauges and everything on it.
Right.
Or even the Vamp and Striker. I mean,
like I said,
the quality and detail in them are amazing.
I don't like that they cost $100, but I don't mind paying $100 for them. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm happy with them.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? You know what I'm saying? I've spent $100 on stuff that I wasn't real happy with. I'm happy with them, and so it's like, okay, that costs $100. It costs $100. Right. I mean, that's the best way I can put it.
Now, if they sold the Vamps and all for $60, I'd be really happy with that. I
wouldn't. No doubt.
I wouldn't argue
absolutely.
with it.
Right. I'd be even more happy with it. Right. But that's just not the case. The Trouble Bubbles were what, $45? That was a good value. Yeah. I mean, seriously, I thought that they were a good value. Now that the deluxe is $55, that's kind of. I don't even want to talk about the Ferret because the Ferret is a real sore spot, and legitimately so. It's a real sore spot.
Mm-hmm.
The quality on them is very good. They're really cool. But that, by saying that just makes it worse because Hasbro really, really, really dropped the ball on the Ferret, and I still don't understand why. I don't know. Well, yes, right, Timothy, and I have that. The McFarlane Batwing is right over here. There's no electronics on it whatsoever. It's nice. It's cool. It's also $275 because Warner Brothers wanted their marketing money, right? Their licensing money. I bought it because I very much so wanted it. How's that? But it's not. I'm happy to have it, but I'm not happy with it because I feel I spent too much money on that thing. But I'm happy that I have it. Does that make sense? With the Stinger and the Hiss, I'm not happy that I spent that much money, but I am happy with it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. See,
and
that's
for that matter.
With like the vamp and stuff, you got to think $25 for the figure.
Yep.
So basically, you're just paying $75 for the vehicle alone.
Exactly. Yep.
So I mean, to me, it's a good deal, especially with the quality you get in it.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Like I said, I don't. Yeah, right.
I can see it now. Drop down in the back, looking like a dog dragging his butt across the ground. Lord.
I don't know, man.
Only Corey would want something like that.
I'm happy. I suppose I'm happy that it's funded and it's the Baroness is being made.
She's a cool addition.
I will end up with one eventually, I'm sure. But
I never had a doubt it was going to fund at all, because we all know how it goes. At the end, the last couple of 4 or 5 days, it just blows out of the water.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, it wasn't a bet at all that it was going to fund. You know what I mean? Everybody knew it was going to fund. I mean, the last one. This is going to sound funny, but the last one always funds, right? I don't know if they'll be doing it again because a year is a long time. But I don't know. There was some kind of speculation floating around online or something this week about a whale. Next year's HasLab will be a whale. I think somebody smoked their breakfast on that one because I just can't see it. That sucker would be so expensive. Yeah, I mean,
Get a vehicle.
you look at the whale. There's no way.
Yeah,
I mean,
mine's right here. It's huge.
Yeah, put that back.
But
there.
it's still mostly a shell, though. You got to think there's no.
It is. It's mostly hollow, but just the
Yeah.
size of it alone would be.
It's stupid large.
It would. I want one. Don't get me wrong. He'd go up for sale if they put up a lab. HasLab. I don't whale for a HasLab.
Have you seen the 3D printed rolling thunders that people's done?
Yes,
I saw the flag the guy's doing.
Oh, that is insane. The flag
17 foot long.
Yeah, that is insane. I saw a Moray Cobra hydrofoil.
Yeah,
that looks really awesome too. So
here's a question: would you rather get a vehicle for $75 and no fig, or $100 with a figure from Hasbro?
Oh no, $100 worth of figure.
Yeah, for real.
Not in my pocket.
No, that's the way they always were. Your bigger vehicles always came with a figure. That's how you got all the characters was to get the vehicles.
Exactly.
I wish they wouldn't put troop builders with them though. Because if you wanted to troop build, it'd be, or at least turn around and release the troops by themselves later on or something maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like Clutch, Clutch in the Vamp, Breaker in the Ram cycle. The Ram was cheaper. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Cobra Driver is whatever, right? I mean, that's a repaint. But
Corey says getting a Sky Striker next year. I honestly do believe we will get a ground vehicle next year for GI Joe.
I think all bets are off, to be perfectly honest with you. I know I beat that drum that they said that they were going to save the HasLabs for aircraft, but I have to tell you, if you look at the roster at this point in time, Joe is seriously lacking in vehicles versus what they put out for Cobra. I mean, seriously lacking. So I don't know.
I do honestly think we'll get some kind of tank Geo vehicle next year. That's going to be my prediction right now. It's either going to be a Mobat or a Mobat. I hope it's a Mobat.
I'm thinking we could get a tank maybe, but
a Mobat.
I don't know. It just depends on. I think a tank is going to fall right in there, or it could go Pulse exclusive or HasLab. It just depends. Depends on how they want to do it and how much detail they want to put in it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I don't see them doing a bridge layer as a HasLab though.
No, I can see a bridge layer as $125 vehicle.
Yeah.
Let's face it, there's not a lot to it. Like a Wolverine, I can see Wolverine being the next one at $100.
Oh yeah.
I was just thinking about that.
Snowcat for sure.
Yeah, Thunder Machine.
Thunder Machine, Snowcat, right? I mean, there's a list there.
Because they come with a figure. So I mean,
yeah, I was just looking. I mean, I can see Snowcat, Bridge Layer, Wolverine, Ice Wolf, Thunder Machine.
Now,
I mean,
I have it.
I don't think so, Tim.
what now?
He said it'll be a HasLab to get more money. I just don't think they would do a Bridge Layer as a HasLab at all.
It's too small.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm looking at it now. It's not
Honestly. Think about what could you release as a tier with it.
exactly.
I mean, there's really nothing you could release as a tier.
Yeah, I don't.
If you look, the Havoc would be big enough for a HasLab. Plus, it holds 2 in the cockpit, one up top, one in the.
Yeah.
So that's 4 figures it would hold.
Yeah, Havoc would definitely be HasLab. Yeah,
but I don't know if they'll do a true cross country. I don't think we'll ever get an OG cross country. I hate to say it.
I don't know.
no,
Even in a HasLab, I don't think we will.
No, I agree with that.
If we do, he'll have a regular hat on and a belt and a regular belt buckle. It won't be true to the OG.
I mean, I'm looking over here. There are certain vehicles that we will never
Oh yeah,
see.
definitely, Tim. I don't know. They could easily just do away with the belt buckle on a cross country, and the hat. The hat was warm on both sides of the field, so I mean, it could be either way.
Yeah,
The hat was wore on the northern side and the southern side. So
yeah, but let's. Okay, you know what? As far as insignia, Classified has already strayed from OG Gung Ho, right? Gung Ho does not have the bird, the ball, and the anchor on his chest.
I think that was
It's the Marine Corps wouldn't let him do it anymore.
Marine Corps copyright.
Right. So
deal that they went through with that.
Right, but there's already a precedent for the classified line straying away from, 100% OG.
Yeah.
And let's face it, I hate to say this, but a huge number of classified collectors would be perfectly content with that to be gone off cross country. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
I mean,
half the customer base wouldn't even care. So
it doesn't. It doesn't matter. Just like with the hooded Cobra Commander, we've had this discussion 1,000 times.
Well, yeah.
The majority of the collectors don't give a crap about that hood.
They don't.
It does not represent nothing but Cobra Commander.
That's right. Yep. It's just a Halloween hood. I mean,
you just got a few crybabies out there that want to whine and gripe and complain about anything and everything. Let's throw it in their face.
Just make a point of nothing, and to be fair, we still don't even know if that's true.
I've looked and looked for where Hasbro said they was not going to make a hoodie Cobra Commander, and I cannot find it nowhere.
It didn't happen.
The only thing that was ever said was about the director of the Snake Eyes movie. Said
exactly,
or the Retaliation or whatever.
Yeah. The movie guys.
Yeah. So I mean, I've also said before, it's no different than the white Storm Shadow with the hood we have now.
Right.
I mean, come on, people. Right. It's nothing.
Nope, that's right.
It only dies when you let it die.
It is definitely one of those things where it isn't a thing unless you make it a thing.
Exactly.
It's really not. It doesn't. Now, if the shape of that hood was different or the color of that hood was different, we'd be talking a different. This is if it looked like a cone head and it was white and blah blah blah. That would be different.
Exactly.
Cobra Commander's hood was never associated with a clan or anything else. It was associated with a goofy fictional character that wore a rag on his head with 2 eye holes because he was fogging up his mask, so he needed to break from it.
It was his casual wear, man.
Exactly. Right. It was at the Terradrome. It was casual Fridays. You just throw a rag over his head, So, yeah,
You go home after work, get a shower, you throw on your casual shorts and your slippers and your t-shirt, and you just casually lay around the house. That's
Exactly.
what Cobra Commander's hood was. It was just his casual wear.
Right. And little known secret on casual Fridays, Destro actually wears the aluminum mask, not the stainless, because it's lighter and it's a little more airy. But you can't tell the difference because they're both polished.
Breathable, that's all.
That's all. Major Blood puts his eye patch on the other side.
Exactly.
Takes a
Puts in his good eye.
That's awesome. It's awesome. Zatian turns just a slightly lighter shade of green in the sunlight.
Yeah. Major Blood takes off of his hand and puts his fork on.
It's just so stupid. Just so stupid. Like I said, things will die when you decide that they're dead.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That always was because the Major Blood that come out with the Cobra Island, I mean, you can tell that's basically a robotic arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the old figure, I always just thought that was armor for that rocket launcher gun to keep it from burning his arm up.
Yeah.
I never thought it was a robotic arm when I was a kid.
Yeah.
No, I never thought so.
Yeah.
Certainly not any references in the comics or anything to it being.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Because I thought if you're sitting here firing a gun with a small rocket on it, you want something to protect your arm to keep it from burning it.
You would think.
Little tinfoil or something, right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, Destro had one too.
He had little tiny rockets.
Yeah.
Yeah, his were much tinier rockets.
They were more like bottle rockets. They didn't put out enough to really hurt him.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
That's why he shaved the hair off his chest. It was bare. That way, if the sparks flew, it wouldn't catch his hair on fire.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, cowl to keep the flames from shooting up his face.
I think I'm looking across here. I mean, beyond the obvious, I think there's one OG vehicle we will never see in classified, and sadly, it's the APC. That thing would be immense.
Yeah, it's long, that's for sure.
It would be immense. To hold that same number of classified figures, it would be really, really big.
It would be cool, though.
It would be cool.
And they could even, they're with the classified line, like we said before, they're not doing everything OG. So they could make it more of a modern troop carrier.
Yeah.
Make it a
What
little
if they're going to do that? Why
smaller.
don't we just get a Warthog?
Exactly. Well, that was one of the three that I think we'll get.
Yep.
A Warthog.
Warthog would be a HasLab, no doubt,
Yeah.
but I'd snap that sucker up.
Oh, yeah. Because you could add any soldier to that you want to.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, Warthog,
That's
Havoc.
definitely my three picks. It's either going to be a Mobat, Mauler, or Warthog next year. And I'm thinking, only reason I'm thinking Warthog is because of all the Sergeant Slaughters we're getting. And from what I've read, they've only signed a contract with him for so long.
Yes, right.
So they're going to put as many out as possible as quickly as they can.
So it's Ramen Toys that did the Mauler-esque classified, right?
Yeah.
Right?
They did the Mauler and they done the bridge layer attachment.
Well, those are the same. Those are like an interchangeable chassis system, right?
Yeah.
So that, you just pop the top and you got a different vehicle. I have to tell you, it makes me wonder. I'd almost bet Hasbro would pick the Mobat because Ramen did that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. But I got a feeling they just get hit with some copyright infringements on that stuff.
Well, the hot thing is if they can make it's an M1A, they can call it whatever they want. It's an M1 Abrams,
right?
I mean, it's not a Mauler. It's an M1 Abrams tank.
It's people are creating stuff now, and they are getting hit with copyrights from Hasbro with it.
It's ridiculous. Hasbro, I'm sorry, but Hasbro corporate are really a jerk company. They always have been. They're just a bunch of jerks.
Who made the thing the other day that they hit Hasbro hit them with copyright infringement? I can't remember what company it was, but they made the small plane. What's it called? Help me out, John.
Skyhawk?
Yeah, the Skyhawk.
Skyhawk.
Skyhawk?
Yeah. Someone had made a vehicle that looked like it. And I
Looked a
mean,
lot like the Skyhawk.
it was to the T, just like this
Yeah.
Mauler tank and bridge layer that they done, Raymond Toys done, and they hit them with the copyright infringement bad. They had to stop production and redo everything on it. So, I mean, there's possibilities. You never know.
Well, that's just silly.
Well, the Skyhawk is kind of sort of strictly a G.I. Joe vehicle. I don't think there's any real life
But
vehicles that
again,
look like that, are there?
No, there isn't. Right.
all you got to do is just make a few changes, and it's no longer copyright. My Morgan Freeman said to me just now, he thinks APC. Yeah. Now you got everybody wanting to talk in a Morgan Freeman voice.
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's my 3 picks for the HasLab. Is Mobat, Mauler, or Warthog for next year. I'm sure everybody else will have a different opinion.
They haven't. It's most likely going to be a G.I. Joe vehicle because they seem to be alternating. Yep. And they haven't really done any water aircraft, so
they haven't done any water aircraft
or a watercraft. Well, hey,
there's a reason for that. They don't exist.
The Sea Ray.
Yes, they do. The Shark was a water aircraft.
The
Shark is a water aircraft. That is true.
But a hovercraft, killer whale, it could possibly.
I don't see it. You're looking at probably a $600 stinking vehicle, man.
It would be awesome.
I don't think so. Well, everybody thought it was going to be over $400, but it wouldn't.
I think it will. It's going to be so much bigger. It'll have to be.
It would be awesome, though. You got
it would be awesome. There's no doubt it would be awesome. Think of all the stuff that would be on a classified whale. That thing would be crazy.
Well, let's look at it realistically. So first we got a tank, right? Then we got an anti-tank aircraft.
Yep.
Right. Then we got another anti-tank aircraft. It would make sense that the next thing would be a Joe tank, right? Wouldn't it?
I mean, so.
Seriously. Because that's both of the aircraft so far are, they are definitely anti-tank platforms.
The toy guru needs to come out of that hut and quit smoking that good stuff.
Yeah, the Rolling Thunder is $100 toy. It's a $100 vehicle. There's really very little to it if you actually look at it. That would be less complex to make than the Vamp or the Stinger in a lot of ways.
Well, I know what the Extreme HasLab would be.
So, but like I said,
you talking about the Rolling Thunder?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It's a roll cage with some plates on it.
The Rolling Thunder's this big.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Thunder Machine.
Oh,
no, not a Rolling Thunder. No, sorry.
What is that, John? Come out of that hut and quit smoking that good stuff.
I packed my Rolling Thunder right next to the water aircraft that I've got.
The water aircraft.
I thought David been in that hut. He said, "No, it would be smaller than Vamp." I'm like, "Wait a minute, it's
come out of the hut."
Keeps me calm.
Ready for the ultimate HasLab that they're never going to do?
What?
Defiant.
Yeah, the Defiant is never going to happen.
No.
That would be awesome.
Imagine the crank system on that sucker when it failed, huh?
Oh, yeah.
It'd take 3 people to crank it up.
It would, wouldn't it?
You'd have to have 2 holding the front, lifting it while
I know.
Well, now, let's look at this, though. They've made Transformer vehicles, Optimus Prime, Megatron, that transform on them themselves.
Yeah, they did. Those are cool.
There's always a possibility.
More than that.
Keep in mind, those are also about $600.
Exactly. And that's why I don't own one of those.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
All right.
It would be awesome.
Say goodnight, Emmett.
Good night, Emmett.
Oh, man, my picture.
You got to go get cleaned up. You got an appointment. Yeah, you do. You got an appointment tomorrow, and you're getting on my nerves, so get lost. You keep banging into the back of my chair, and I'm going to stop banging into the front of your head in a minute. Now go upstairs. Thank you. Say goodnight, Emmett.
No.
He said he can't wait to come on the show. He also said goodnight, Emmett.
Yeah, right.
Toy Guru is.
I don't even know who Toy Guru is. I don't pay much attention to that stuff, honestly.
It's Corey.
It's like a race to the rumor, and some of it is I don't care. You know, that's just me. I guess.
It's just Corey.
Yep. I don't know, man. There's a ton of vehicles. There's a ton of vehicles that could be done in the $100, $125 range, though.
Yeah.
Without going the HasLab route, and I seriously hope they. I don't know, man. They gotta seriously pick up the vehicle game here, and that's my opinion, because we're running out of characters quickly. I mean, seems as though we get 5 that are pre-order, we get 5 digital renders, and then we get 5 name onlys. You know, when you go through that cycle of 10 to 15 figures every 3 months or so, we're going to run out of characters here right off.
Yeah.
So they got to pick up the vehicle game. That's fake. Vehicles were as big a thing with. Yeah. I don't know. They got to do more vehicles. That's as big a part of G.I. Joe as the figures ever were.
Well, they've definitely picked up on the vehicles so far.
So yeah,
I mean, continue.
We'll see if the claws show up for pre-order on Friday.
I believe they will.
I suspect they will. I suspect we're going to see the digital render of the Fang too.
Mm-hmm.
But they gotta do something for Joe here, because I mean, we got the Ram, we got the Vamp,
that's it,
and the Dragonfly that no one has. That's it.
Yep.
They got to do something.
And the Tiger Paw.
Well.
Yeah, right. But yeah, no, I mean, they definitely heavy on the Cobra vehicles for now. So, I mean, and there's a ton of those that they could do. Well, Skyhawk, Shark, right? In the smaller scale.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely grab more than one claw.
What's that?
I said I'm definitely going to grab more than one claw.
Oh, yeah. No, I will be back to, whether I can afford it or not is the big thing, but I will be back to getting 3. Just the way things have gone. I will be trying to get 3. So
there's a lot of Joe small vehicles.
Oh yeah, recon, even a recon sled.
A polar bear.
Yep. A ton of them. I'm a Mirage, the Mirage cycle.
Mirage.
What else we got? I'm just looking around here.
The Shark.
Yeah, the Shark. We could
Shark would be good.
Devilfish, which was on a lot of people's list. Devilfish and Deep Six and wetsuit.
And the Devilfish can be repainted as the Tigerfish.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a no-brainer, right? I mean,
Yep.
So, and do you think they're going to say anything on Friday about that cryptic picture that they showed and with the headquarters in the background?
I don't know.
It makes me wonder if that's not going to be some kind of.
I think we could get some kind of announcement about that.
An announcement or another tease or something. I can't imagine them letting it go by without saying something.
Because they definitely said that there was a hint to something on that art, and that was the only thing I could see on that art.
Well, it was literally the only thing in there.
Exactly.
The headquarters in the background. There was nothing else in that photograph of that painting. So
unless there's a tank barrel sticking out of the headquarters that I didn't really look to see.
Yeah, no, I didn't see anything.
Well, you got, like I said, you got the Dragonfly and the Vamp. The only other vehicle that we went with the headquarters is the Mobat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Lord.
Be interesting.
But I have to tell you,
Corey's secret crush on Emily.
Yeah, not so secret crush.
Not so secret, Corey.
Yep.
He sure does pay a lot of attention to her feet.
He does.
Oh no, we're gonna man down. Somebody just fell over in front of the moose there.
Moose been eating beans, I guess. Kind of.
Yeah. There you
You
go.
can take it. The others have got helmets on, so they kind of block it a little bit.
You also, for the Joe vehicles, you got the flank and the hail.
The what?
The flank. The
Oh,
gun.
Flak.
The
Flak.
flank. The flak. I meant, what did I say? Flank, flak. Yeah, the
Oh,
flak.
flak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flak
The
cannon.
hail.
And the HAL. Yep.
Yeah, you got all those.
Whirlwind.
The
We
house
could have
goes good
put
behind
a
the van.
whirlwind in the back of that freaking vamp. That'd be all right,
That would
right?
too.
Yeah. I
Well,
was looking at some of them here. The twin battle gun
yeah, the whirlwind, right?
and all the pack rat stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they can do
I'd
all
like
that
to see
stuff.
a 3-pack, a pack rat 3-pack.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
Size.
Yeah, that would be cool. You know, this is going to sound stupid,
could do
but
that.
I would like to see AP packs with stands.
Yeah.
The stands that they're including with these retro carded, I'd really like to have a bunch of those.
And what about an all striker?
Oh, the Ostrich, of course, right? Yeah.
Armadillo.
Yeah, an armadillo would work.
Yeah, I mean, those are all small vehicles that could come with a figure.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the pace on the vehicles, I'm telling you. And
oh yeah,
give them time. I'm sure they will.
Yep.
Probably real soon.
Well, I don't.
So what do y'all think? What vehicles do you think they might announce this Friday?
oh,
Small or large?
this Friday will definitely be the Fang.
Yeah.
They've done too
I
much
agree.
talking about it.
I agree. I think the thing.
I believe the Fang will come with a male counterpart to the glider pilot.
Oh yeah, I believe you're right on that.
The same red and blue color scheme.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes sense.
Well, they already have something like a Hummer. What was it called, John?
The Hammer. The Hammer was
Hammer.
a Hummer. The Hammer was like a Hummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hammer, Hummer. Maybe that's not such a coincidence. That might have been copyright infringement, so they call it a Hammer instead of a Hummer.
Exactly.
Now the 25th anniversaries they did, the Valor versus Venom, they did a couple of Hummers with those, you know.
Yeah.
They done a desert camo and a night force one and a green one. Sure did.
I'm sure you won't have long to wait, Adam. Them turtle stuff hit pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Every day you go in Walmart, you see a new turtle something.
Turtles are still going strong after all these years, buddy. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah.
They cross them with everything.
Yeah. Now they cross them with the WWE.
Yeah.
I hope. I really genuinely hope that we get an announcement for Devilfish and Wetsuit. I really do. It would be completely out of the blue because we haven't even heard any rumors about anything like that. But
yeah, that's another one.
I could see a Triple T coming. I could see that. And maybe it'll come in with a mail-in version of Sergeant Slaughter.
It will happily have to.
Yeah.
Do you really? I mean, seriously though, guys, do you really think that Hasbro wants to spend any more money marketing Sergeant Slaughter stuff? Because let's face it, his figures haven't done well.
Well,
I mean, the originals, they all ended up at Ollie's, and the second one is still sitting on, the Marauders is still sitting on Pulse. I don't know if they really want to spend much more money building up Sergeant Slaughter brand, because
I think if they would just do it as a $25 figure and quit putting a little mini action figure in there with him, nobody really wants that. I don't mind it. I think it's kind of neat, but most people don't like that, and they don't want that. It's a waste of accessory to most people.
But you can only get so many of them that are the same thing, man.
Yeah.
Both of his releases has come with that little mini figure in there.
Yeah.
So,
do it with all that. Do the mail-in version just by itself. Maybe do it as a mail-in. Let's go back to collecting points or something and get it. You know, it's working. You know, Action Force, Valorverse, they did it with that. Was it Undercover Condor? Was supposed to be like a Chuckles.
Yeah.
you clip the points off the back of the box and send it in.
Right.
They could do something like that. I wish they would bring back the mail-in figures. That would be awesome.
Flag points were cool.
They were.
Flag points.
I would like for them to put them on the box and not even if it didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Just for them to be there. It was so cool.
Yeah, it would be cool to have them just on the retro cards.
I was hoping they would do it on the retro cards for real. Yeah. Has anyone seen the blue Dick Grayson Platinum Batman Robin?
No, the only figures I've seen out of that whole wave are all of the Platinums except for the Dick Grayson. I don't know what he's doing. He's playing a weird game with those Platinums.
Yeah.
But no,
I haven't.
No, I haven't seen it. I've seen quite a few.
Oh, it's all good, man.
5 or 6 of the black Dick Grayson. I saw one Hugo Strange. That other amalgam figure is all over the place. I don't think anybody's going to buy that, but
I've seen the Bullseye Batman twice, I think.
Yeah, which is just a weird figure.
Yeah, let's paint a big bullseye on our chest and go out and fight crime.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, that was definitely Golden Age stuff right there.
And it's also white, isn't he? White?
Yeah.
Oh, he's all white. Yeah.
That's the Batman.
Yeah, but there's a zebra Batman coming too, because that was the other one that was famous from the 50s. That Batman in Many Colors issue that they did. Remember that, where all of those characters came from? Zebra Batman and Bullseye Batman and Rainbow Batman, and there was the pink one, and there was a half a dozen of them that were really, really weird. No, have not seen the Tim Drake Robin yet either. No, Corey.
Is that the Tim Drake Robin? Is that the? Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times.
It's a new one with a cloth cape.
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of times, mostly at GameStop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I started to pick him up, but I'd rather have a Dick Grayson Robin. That's the Robin I want for myself. So.
Yeah, and they did. They made him. He was the store McFarlane store exclusive. So
yeah,
which was again a real brilliant move on his part. The one everybody wants. Let's just make it impossible. Corey said he wanted to see Deep Six. Deep Six would come with the shark, just like you did before.
Yep.
And that's $100 vehicle.
I foresee them doing a little different, probably a more. I don't think he's going to be hollow where he'll float.
No, I don't either.
No, he would be a genuine figure that's been modernized because let's face it, I mean, Deep Six as a figure was probably hands down the most disappointing OG figure of all time. It's just like, for me it was anyways. It's just kind of like, what the heck?
He was so cool. You fill him up with air.
Yeah, I know. But he was definitely completely different than any of the other ones.
Yeah. He only had 2 points of articulation. That was his 2 arms.
Yeah, that was
it. No more articulation.
That was it.
And heck, he couldn't even take his bubble helmet off.
No.
Well, he drowned if he did.
That's true.
He didn't need to know when he was on land, though.
No.
He was definitely a cool little figure.
Ton of stuff. Tons and tons and tons of stuff that could be made in that $100 point range.
Yep.
I just this is gonna sound strange, but I just wish they'd get to it. I really do. There's a ton of stuff. So, and let's face it, these 3D printing guys, they're freaking killing it. I mean, they are absolutely killing it with the classified stuff. So, So, the good news about that is all of those files for all of that stuff are out there. So, if Hasbro stopped tomorrow, we could go make a small investment and start making our own stuff. So,
I'd have to 3D print a new house, so I have enough room to put it on.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, they got them weird. They 3D print with concrete. That's the weirdest setup ever.
Oh yeah,
but it's a real thing. They'll build you a concrete shell in a day.
Mm-hmm.
The Defiant spaceship, I think that's what it's called. The Defiant or the Crusader? Big time
I
with the
bet it
babies.
was the Crusader. Maybe he's talking about the Crusader.
The Crusader was the separate with the black highlights versus the Defiant, which was all white. I don't know, man. The one sitting right over here, the Defiant sitting right here. That would be one big sucker. That would be that'd be a big toy. And I don't know. Yeah. He got a one-track mind and it's derailed. He's stuck right to Emily's feet. It's not good, man. It's not good. I'm sure she'd be flattered, but whatever.
Did her toenail polish match her hair color, Corey? You would probably know, though.
I got it Christmas of 85.
85. A vehicle?
A space vehicle? In 85? Even the Stiletto was made after that, wasn't it, John?
Yeah. The Stiletto was 87.
Yeah.
So was the Defiant. The Stiletto kind of come out the same year the Defiant did.
Right, and the Crusader came out the year after, 2 years after?
Yeah.
2 years after the Defiant. Because they wanted kids to have the shuttle that couldn't afford the $120 playset.
Mm-hmm.
But they made it different. It was the Crusader, not the Defiant. I can't think of any space vehicles in 85.
There wasn't.
Joe. There was probably some others.
I'm looking at Yo-Yo right now, and no. Mm-mm.
And there are different. I mean, there's quite a few differences between the Defiant shuttle and the Crusader too. I mean, the crane arm and the drone and all of that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, the Challenger went down in 86.
February of 86, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the wintertime because I remember it was cold that day where I was, and I went in it was weird because I stepped foot. I went into the bar that I was in the habit of hanging around in, and everybody was freaking out because the Challenger blew up. So, remember that.
86, you got the Night Raven and the Conquest and Terradrome, stuff like that.
Yeah. 86 was a big year for vehicles.
I don't remember anything.
I think 85 and 86 is when the line kind of hit its stride.
It did, didn't it?
And then after 87 and 88, that's when it started going down the other way.
Yep. Well, it's funny that 6 or 7 years in there in the life of a child is a big developmental steps taking place in there.
Yeah.
And that's why toy lines go like this, is because kids age out of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yeah, you know what? You want my honest opinion? 82 was the best year. 82 was the best year. It was just cool and so new and so unique. And then I have to tell you, 83, Dark, Airborne, Gung Ho, right? It's just awesome.
Dragonfly.
The Dragonfly, right? I mean, 83 was pretty
and the
awesome.
Sky Striker.
Yeah. It was pretty awesome.
85 was the best.
Cobra was badly outnumbered them first couple of years.
Oh yeah, 82 was nothing but Joe vehicles, I believe, wasn't it? Created in 82.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And there was only two Cobra figures, Cobra Commander and the Cobra Trooper.
And the Cobra Officer.
And the
Cobra Commander was Melloway to start off with.
Yeah.
Yep. Couldn't even get it. The enemy. It wasn't even Cobra. It was the enemy.
The enemy leader, I think.
Adam decided to join us in 85.
Well, the first two Cobra vehicles were the Hiss and the Fang, right?
Yeah.
And that was it for
that was 83,
a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, man,
the Claw was 80. Yeah, the Claw was 84.
Yeah.
When the Claw come out, yeah.
And then the Terradrome and the Hydrofoil and the Night Striker, and I mean, it blew up because they got
Trouble Bubble was 85. That's when the Televipers come out with it.
Yep. They did that. There's a 4-year window in there where G.I. Joe hit its stride, and it was just absolutely amazing. But
I sure miss them going in there and picking up, seeing a new figure and picking up, look on the back, seeing all the new figures that come out.
I know,
Oh, wow.
I know, man.
That
It was
was
so
excitement.
great.
That's when you
so
found
great.
out what was coming out. You look on the back of the box and see it.
Right,
Yeah.
because there was no other source for information. It was just that was it.
Unless you saw a commercial.
Right. And then you waited to read that file card. You waited to see him just to read that file card because you'd seen him for a month, 6 weeks, 2 months, whatever it was before, and you who's that? Who's that? What's the deal with that? You know, I mean, it's like, and then you get the file card. But man, I don't know. It was great times. It honestly was. So what else do we got? What else we got tonight?
I think Shane
I know
was
you
going to
told
go
me
through
before we started, Shane. Now I forgot.
John's got his pictures here.
Yep.
We can let him talk about that.
It's all yours, bud.
All right. So, can you come back to me a minute, Shane?
Yeah.
So, I took pictures of this book so Shane could just put them up there. It come from this trade paperback, the Iron Man Iron Manual.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got this, of course, it's got a lot of information about the movies and the comics. It's got some of the characters and all that. Where we go? What happened? Oh.
Shane was just using it as a mirror.
I guess so. But there, toward the front, there's a section that shows the Iron Man armor, and it also at the bottom it's got the like model number 1, Tales of Suspense number 39, 1963, and it goes up through I think 2007, so it must be when this book come out, because it ends with model 36, the World War Hulk from 2007. Mm-hmm. If you want to show the picture, Shane, it's a good guide to kind of see the figures, and I'll tell you a little bit about why here in a minute. So,
World War Hulk was that long ago? Holy cow!
2007, yeah, sure was.
Jeez.
So, see, you got all the model. Now, the one thing I found interesting, and I don't know, I know it's probably kind of hard to see. I tried to take the best picture I could, but you can't really open this book up that easily without bending it. So that first page is models 1 through 6. Now, model 1, you got the model 1 and you got the model 1 gold finish. And he only wore the silver for like a couple of issues. And what happened was, if you read the comic, he found that kids were scared of him. So he painted the armor gold, and he kind of added that little skirt thing around it to kind of where it would it would not look so menacing to kids and to people, because people were kind of afraid of him to start off with. The gold armor was what he was wearing when he first joined the Avengers for like the first issue or two. Then you had the Model 2 armor from Tales of Suspense number 48. Little bit like his modern, but then you got number 3 and number 4. Number 4 is his iconic. That's the one he wore for a really long time. That second one from the left there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the iconic model number 4. That's the one he wore for, well, I guess all the way up until issue 142 when he went to model number 5. But that's the armor that most people who read the comics recognized as Iron Man.
Sure.
You know. So so then you got, through 6 there, which goes, that first page, he only had like 6 different armors up until 1987.
Yeah, well.
So, but the odd thing is, if you look at the second, the second page, that's the second page. That's models number 7. And it goes through model number 13. So the Silver Centurion there is model number 6. Iron Man 200. That armor was called the Silver Centurion. Right? Now, okay, look at model number 9 there. So I recently this past week, or was it last week? Last weekend, I can't remember. Picked up one of the new Iron Mans. If you'll go back to me for a minute, Shane.
Go back to what now?
Go back to me just for a minute. I'll show you something here. So I think the Marvel, I mean, Hasbro's doing a good job at follow up because here's Iron Man Model 9.
Oh,
and
wow.
if you look, he looks like that one.
Yeah,
now,
the boots. Oh.
back in 2012 or 13, when they done the Ironmonger wave, this is also model number 9. You can tell it's the same armor. The only difference, that's got a blue circle, like it's powered up. And this is just the yellow. In that book, this is the one it shows with the yellow circle. But it's basically the same figure. This one looks like it's a tad bigger. I think they bulked the sculpt up a little bit. But
it is a lot bigger, actually, isn't it?
I mean, it does look like it's a little beefier. But that is model number 9. By that book, cool. they kept to that. Now, if we'll go back to the book for a second, I'll show you something else. So the book, and then of course Model 11's War Machine. Scroll down there and see it. And then you got Model 12, Model 13, 1994. Now here's the thing. There's model number 13. Well, if you go to the next page, you got Hulkbuster.
There it is.
But it's also model number 13. So I don't know if
why, because model 13 fits inside that outer shell? Is that what it is?
That's what I'm wondering, if they said that was like the outer armor for model 13 with the Hulk, because if that's not true and they made a goof up, then all the rest of the models are off by a number.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So technically that would be 14. Right. 14 would actually be 15 and so on. Well, if you go to model number...
Wasn't that like an exoskeleton that specific model number 13 fit inside?
That's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking that's got the same model number. Because I think after he fought the Hulk, didn't it just pop off? Fall off of him?
It just falls off, and he's still standing there in his armor. It's like it's like armor for his armor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so keep that in mind. I mean, apparently that's the logical thing that makes sense.
Right.
I don't remember model number 18, Iron Man Bad Blood, come out in 2000. That's a weird looking armor there. That kind of blue.
That looks alien, doesn't it? That's like
kind of, yeah.
It does. Yeah, it does. Okay. Then you got on the next page at the top in the big picture, you got model number 20. All right, take a good look at model number 20. All right.
Separate shoulder pieces, discs on the hips.
All right, now come back. Now, can you see that small picture? This one here is model number 20, and it's pretty much that figure.
It
same armor.
It is.
So they're paying attention. They're kind of following the comment. I mean, they really are. Gosh, I got tons. I'm trying to match these up. Some of them look so much alike.
Right.
There's very minor differences between the model numbers that it's really hard to tell. If you look down there at model 24 and model 25, I can't tell no difference other than the way he's standing.
Now, who the heck is in model 22? Because whoever that person is, he's considerably bulkier than Tony Stark.
In 22?
Yeah.
That is the Thor.
Doc Samson? Doc Samson in armor?
That's the Thor Buster armor when he fought Thor.
Well, but how did he end up with arms that look like that? Because that's not Tony Stark.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. It's the armor's built like that. It's extra reinforced because think about it. Thor's pretty much as tough as the Hulk is.
Yeah, he is. He's as tough as, just not as strong.
Yeah.
No, I've that argument's always been, who would win, the Thor or the Hulk? I've always said the Hulk, but whatever. And
Toy Biz did do that Thor armor figure.
Huh?
Yeah, Toy Biz did it. I've been expecting Hasbro to do it because they got the Hulkbuster armor, the actual Hulkbuster armor coming out here the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
They showed pictures of it. I think it might be up for sale now. I don't know. So I figure the Thor Buster is probably not far behind.
Mm.
Because I mean, they've made a lot of iron, and a lot of them's not even in here. So a lot of them's the newer stuff. But if you look at that 24 and 25, scroll back down to the bottom. Honestly, I can't tell no difference between the two. They almost look identical to me. I mean, there's got to be some minor difference in it or something to make them different. But
the shoulders are different.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
the shoulders have got the pointy armor on the top of them.
It's kind of hard to tell the way he's kind of squatted down, like, you know.
I'd be curious to see him if they were drawn in the exact same pose to see what the differences were.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the knees are different too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say though. Is that because he's got his knees bent, you can see them sticking up, or is it? I mean, it's hard to tell.
You look at the kneecap shields on 24; they're definitely pretty Batman-esque. Those suckers are pointed.
Yeah, I guess they are.
You know, they're well, they look extruded, for lack of a better word, on 25, where they're individual plates, right?
And say that one of them's issue 73, the other one's issue 74. So
you can see here on the shoulder pads.
Yeah, the shoulder pads are quite
squared off. And
apparently, I bet he made a slight he made some modifications to it because it basically only wore that armor in one issue.
I have to tell you, the Model 24 almost looks like looks reptilian compared to Model 25. Yeah. You see the body on the torso, a whole lot more individual plate. It almost looks like reptile armor.
Yeah.
Definitely spikier too.
Yeah, I don't know much about that era of Iron Man because like I said, I read Iron Man back in the 80s and 90s. So you know,
Corey asked, do they count armor built for other people?
Well, I think these are just Tony Stark armor because he did wear the War Machine armor to start off with. Rhodes didn't get it until later. So I think this is just the armors that he wore. And the one that I'm interested in going is that one at the bottom, that number 33. That looks alien. That gold
33.
Yeah,
it's like Bullet Man.
Yeah, kind of.
Right. I mean, that looks like Martian Manhunter's dome there. That definitely looks alien.
For real.
Yeah, that's a weird design. Boy, some of these artists, they give them a little too much free reign, and it's just like, well, you screwed that all up.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's one more page of them there. There's two on the end that's not part of the normal sequence.
31 and 32 are some huge armor too. Those Hulkbuster stuff too.
Yeah, they may be because they are pretty huge.
And there,
well, you go fight the Hulk, you're going to go through a lot of armor. So.
Ain't no doubt.
For sure.
Especially during that period. I mean, if it was World Breaker Hulk, you're just showing up to get your butt kicked because that's just the way that whole storyline went.
Oh yeah, World War Hulk.
And the last model in here is 36, which was the World War Hulk armor. So the Hulkbuster 2 armor, basically.
It didn't work. Spoiler alert, didn't work.
Yeah. But it's odd. You got those two over there. One's model CE1 and one's model YT1. I'm not really sure what the deal is with those.
CE.
But that looks like
ultimate stuff.
Well, that model CE1, I think, is that not the armor he had on in the Heroes Reborn? But it don't give a date or issue on it.
What is YT, CE, and YT? YT. Yeah. They don't give you the text. Doesn't give you any explanation as to what those are.
That's what I was looking at. I don't see it mentioned in the text down here. I'm gonna have to sit down and read through it because there's like several more pages here. It's probably in here somewhere. Good Lord, there's like several pages after this, just talking about the armor.
It's probably all in that text and what that's talking about. See, the CE I've heard before though. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think Dr. Doom's armor would be considered Iron Man armor though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think this is only, like I said, I think this is only because Iron Patriot come out in 2006, right in the Civil War, but that was Norman Osborn wore it, so it wasn't Tony Stark, so I think that's why it's not counted. But some of these are kind of unique, but some of them I think may have just been made up that Hasbro did. Because, like I said, some of it followed close. You saw what I showed there. It looked like, but then you got some like let's see, this one here was in one of the Guardians of the Galaxy wave. I got it labeled so I wouldn't forget what it's called. So this was Iron Man space armor. But maybe this was somebody besides Tony Stark in it. I don't know. See, it's almost got like a bug-looking face to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's weird.
I didn't realize I had the hair conditioner on. Why didn't y'all say something about that noise?
I don't hear nothing.
Is that better?
I don't hear nothing.
Oh, you didn't hear it running?
No.
Well, Foot, I'll turn it back on.
It won't bother me any.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get that. I put tape on this thing. I dug these out of storage. I'm trying to get my Marvel Legends organized.
I don't know why, but that figure you just showed, I see that and I think Nova Corps. I don't see Iron Man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It was one of the Guardians of the Galaxy waves. I think it was the first wave that had was it Titus, the lion like the tiger with the it's from the Cosmic Wave, the Guardians of the Galaxy wave. I was trying to remember what other figures. I think some of the Guardians movie figures come out in that same wave. All these waves run together after so long, and I cannot get this thing up. I usually can peel that tape right off. I was going to pull it off and take it out of the bag where you can see it better. It's a weird armor, though. And it's possible that somebody besides Tony Stark wore it, and maybe that's why it's not. Or it come out after this book, because like I said, this only goes through 2007. And the Guardians of the Galaxy really just started picking up around that time from the Annihilation storyline. There you go.
Boy, those are some weird shoulder
really
pads. Yeah, them are some weird shoulder pads.
Yeah. But see the face. The face just looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
And you got the stealth armor, which I believe was in there as model number, 5 or 6. Which looks like the classic armor, only it's
colored different.
Yeah, it's just stealth.
Couldn't see it.
The Ironmonger wave, they did. This is the classic, and I'm surprised they have not revised this one and made a newer version of it. But the one I did like about this, that come with the Ironmonger, it also come with the alternate head, so you could do the. Notice that's got the points at the top.
Yeah.
So this was actually like his armor, his third armor.
Right.
And this was his fourth because basically he just changed the helmet. He took the points off and made it rounded. But he wore this for several episodes or several issues back in the early days. That's the model number 9. There's I didn't realize I had so many. No, I think this may be the Heroes Reborn Iron Man here. I'm not sure. I got to go. I said I'm trying to research these. I've dug them out of a box, and I'm trying to go through and figure out what's what. But they made a ton of them. Let's see what some of the others. This one's pretty cool. I think this one there in. The first one, when they relaunched Marvel Legends, I was trying to find it. I got it here somewhere. Where is it at? Where is it at? Oh, here he is, right here. And I was going to see, because I think this one... Let me go back to the book here. Educate everybody on Iron Man armor. I've been trying to get all this together. This one looks a lot similar to that Iron Man number 20 in a ways. I think maybe this one might be more like that Iron Man number 25. Right? Kind of looks like it. They did make I got it right here. They made a stealth version of it too, which is basically it repainted in the blue, light blue and dark blue stealth colors. I mean, that's the Silver Centurion. Oh gosh, I don't know. Now this, of course, this wasn't Tony Stark, so that's why it wasn't listed. But the Iron Man 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was great because this was a Walgreens exclusive, but they released it in 2020 for that very purpose. I don't know. You got, I guess at one point the Punisher wore some of the armor, the War Machine armor with the skull painted on it. You had the Red Skull in his own armor.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just kind of falling apart here. Corey's all hooked up on Emily's feet. Apparently, Adam's all hooked up on John's forearms.
Starting to worry about these guys.
I don't want any part of my anatomy being shown on here anymore because somebody's have to get all clingy about what I got going on. I don't know.
Of course, you got the female Iron Man. What's her name?
Iron Woman.
Mary Williams or something like that. I don't forget now.
Not Pepper Potts.
Yeah. No. Well, no. This. I don't know. Pepper did wear the armor at one time in the comic, I believe, didn't she?
I don't know. I was going by the movie.
But I think this was because I thought she had an alternate head, but I don't seem to have it. I got parts everywhere. Now you know back in what the early was it around 2010, 2012 they did the Marvel Now. This was the Marvel Now Iron Man, black and gold, which is kind of neat. And I think that was Tony Stark. I don't know. I got tons of them. And I may have mentioned this before. I don't know. I was glad that they finally got around to doing this model number 1 and number 2. And I like that they did get the skirt on it, just like in the old one. So I mean, those are pretty accurate to the comic right there.
The packaging on those figures, to me, it looks exactly like the Iron Man figures that came out during the 90s with the Mandarin cartoon and stuff. Remember that?
Right.
Mm-hmm. It looks identical to that. Maybe it's just because it's orange and gold and red. And
no, that's what they were going for, the retro.
Yeah, it looks exactly the same, doesn't it?
Because if you look at the Fantastic Four on the retro cards, those cards had the rounded corners just like the 90s Toy Biz ones did, And the Spider-Man looks like the 90s Toy Biz.
Yeah. Very
and
cool.
those were based off the cartoons, a lot of those.
The cartoons,
Yeah.
Yeah. What a strange cartoon that was.
Yep. But, yeah. I don't know. But, yeah, I thought people might find that interesting. This one here I got looks like his vintage armor, but it's got like an AI head. Like it wasn't really Tony. It was like I forget what wave that come with. But it does have the regular head you can swap out and put on there with the armor.
Interesting.
And that's basically his classic armor there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really surprised they hadn't re-released his classic armor. Well, I guess technically in a way they did with this one. This come out in the... I want to say this might have come out in that wave that had the Iron Man wave that had the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure. The
bear, yeah.
The bear. I think that was the wave it come out in. Like I said, all these waves run. I've done so many waves it all runs together now. And I don't know what's going on with Walmart and the Marvel Legends because they haven't got any Build-A-Figure waves this year. From any of the new waves from this year. The last waves I can find around here are the ones from the Ant-Man and Wasp movie. And the one that had the totally awesome Hulk Build-A-Figure. And I don't know if Walmart's not carrying the Build-A-Figure waves or just doing the individual MCU figures or what. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is going on over there. But it's weird. But anyway, that's just a little look at some of the Iron Man armors. I thought people might find that interesting. But if you go on, I'm sure you go on eBay, you can find this book. I got it. I think I got it at not Second Charles, but Books A Million here several years ago. But it's the Iron Man Iron Manual, and it's got a lot of good information. If you're an Iron Man fan, you definitely want because it's got a lot of good stuff from the history and all that. So it's got stuff from the movies and all in it too. So it's pretty neat book. So anyhow, speaking of comic books, we'll switch gears from toys to comic books for a minute. So, I love the fact that DC, and this is just an example. This is a Batman Volume 1, the golden years omnibus. You can see how big it is.
Oh yeah, they're
Actually
awesome.
collects Detective Comics 27 through 56, Batman 1 through 7, New York World's Fair Comics number 2, World's Best Comic number 1, and World's Finest Comics 2 and 3. And there's 10 volumes of the Golden Age, and they've already put out, I know, 1 volume of the Silver Age. The Golden Age Volume 10 ends issue 200 and something, I think. And then the Silver Age starts where that one ends. So you could actually get the first 300 or so issues of the original Batman, plus the Detective Comics from 27 up through issue 400 or something like that.
Right.
You could actually have them in these books here.
The omnibuses are awesome.
The omnibuses. But here's the thing. This is my gripe. These I've got volume 1 and volume 3 of this. I got like for between $25 and $50 at like Second
awesome.
Charles or used. I mean, the retail on them. Well, the retail on these when they first come out was $75. This was $75, but it come out in, I think, 2010 maybe when they started doing these. I don't know. Now the retail on them is about $150.
Yep.
For the newer ones that's coming out.
Yep.
So here's the thing. I thought, well, I've got some of them. I've got 2 through 5 of Superman that I got at Second Charles for like $40 a piece. I got Wonder Woman 2 and 3, and so Wonder Woman, actually they're still doing them because Wonder Woman Volume 6 comes out in February of 2025. So here's the thing. With Batman, 10 volumes gets you all the Golden Age Batman stories from Batman, Detective Comics, and the world's best comics or the World Fair Comics and all those, because they put all those in there.
Right.
I like the way they do that. They put them in chronological order the way they were published. But here's the thing. Now, with Batman, Volume 7, 8, and 9. I don't know what they did, but apparently they didn't produce as many of them. I don't know. Volume 10, you can still get for a reasonable price because it hadn't been out very long. On Amazon, I got it for $72. Volume 10. Volume 8, $299.
Yeah.
That's Volume 8. Volume 9, $500.
Yeah.
Volume 7, $675.
It's insane. It's the Joe stuff did the same thing.
So, okay, I won't be able to finish all the Batmans. That would have been a cool set to have. There's no way I'm paying that for it. Unless they go back and reprint them, there's no way.
There's a likelihood of that happening to zero.
I was thinking, Superman, yeah. I think there's 1 volume of Superman. I think they're up through volume 8 on Superman, 8 or 9. I don't think they've got the 10th volume of Superman, which would come out about the same, and then they'd start the Silver Age. But there's 1 issue of Superman, volume 6, $1,111.
Yeah, it's a real shame, isn't it? They started out with a good thing, and then they just wrecked that too.
Wonder Woman, all of them but Volume 4. Volume 4, I found 2 listings on Amazon, $346 and $384.
Yeah, I know.
So they done Perez. 3 volumes of the omnibuses of the Perez issues. Started in 87?
Yeah.
You can get Volume 1, $64. Volume 2 is right around, it's 110. I think retail was on 125 on it. Volume 3, $1,999 is what they're looking for it.
That's insane.
So you can't complete any of those, so why buy any more?
No, that's right.
Volume 6, 6 is coming out, but if nobody's got Volume 4 of the Wonder Woman, who's going to buy that Volume 6?
Yep.
Because they can't complete them.
It's absolutely idiotic. I just don't. They start a good thing, and then it doesn't sell, and then let's face it, we've been doing the same thing with the toys, right? They cut production, but then they cut it too far.
Yep,
they cut it too far. And now all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, now you got a problem because you can't. This Cobra Commander is a great example of that. The Ferrets is a great example of that.
But I don't understand, if they look and see this and see what they're doing on the secondary market, then why do they not go ahead and produce more? Because it's more money for them.
Well, if they would just pay attention to their Facebook pages, their Instagram pages, TikTok pages, they would see people want them and want more of them, and they're not going to make them. They're idiots. I mean, they're just leaving money on the table.
You want the honest truth, guys? I think you're kind of hitting it right on the head. They don't look at the secondary market. Exactly. They don't look at the social media. They don't actually pay attention to anything anybody's saying. Yeah. Because they just write it off as internet stuff or whatever, and I honestly don't think they care. I don't think they care.
You know, some customers that think, oh, they care about us. Yeah. All they care about is your money.
Yeah.
And then some customers think, oh, well, they're not lying to us just because they push the product back. Yes, they are. They're completely lying to you.
Yeah. And if you go back to when these companies really kicked off back in the 50s and 60s, Mattel, Hasbro, both, all the way up to the 80s to the 90s, they had to go by sales to tell if it was doing good. If it sold, it was doing good. If it didn't sell, it wasn't. But now they have social media. They have all sorts of outlets now. All they got to do is get on there and just look.
Yep.
And it'll give them valuable information to help them with their production and help them with their numbers, but they apparently it's like they're oblivious to it. I don't know. I just don't.
It's the dumbest thing ever, because let's face it, you guys have all heard of focus groups, right? Every business that was selling anything to the general public paid over the decades hundreds of millions of dollars putting together focus groups. Focus groups were you take Jane Doe and John Smith, and you put them in a room and you ask them questions about everything from the automobiles to dishwashing soap, right? I mean, and that's how they got their customer feedback. You guys are 100% right. They have all of that for free now, and what they used to pay attention to, they choose to ignore. Now that it doesn't cost them anything, they don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, but it was like gold to them for decades when they were paying for it. It's just like, it's just stupid. Come on, buddy.
Tax write-offs, I guess. I don't know.
Now, I've had some good 7-Eleven sushi there, Corey. And some good 7-Eleven fried chicken.
Hey, Corey, I'd rather ride this thing into space than have 7-Eleven sushi.
Yeah.
You made me think here's your.
There's certain things you don't buy. Right.
This is your Crusader.
That's the Crusader.
7-Eleven sushi is one of the things on the list I don't buy. When it comes to yard sales, there's two things that's a no-go on yard sales, and that's toothbrushes and underwear. I won't buy those at a yard sale.
Boy, you're more generous than I am, but I agree with that list so far.
Hey, man, if you find some underwear at the yard sale, just turn around and look at the backside. They clear, they're good to go. Little bleach, you're all right.
Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Spent too much time going commando to be doing that. I'm not going to do it.
TMI.
I don't know, man. It's crazy because that's right. They have all of these built-in free focus groups and they ignore it. It's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing ever.
Yep, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Totally.
I just don't get it. They treat social media like it's something that they have to do. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that. Well, we've mentioned.
Don't put that comment up there.
I'm not. I can't.
I don't understand why they don't run polls. They should have a poll going all the time on their website.
Oh, I would.
Whether it's G.I. Joe, Transformers, Star Wars, they ought to have a poll running all the time just to see what people want, just to see what feedback they get.
At least once a month.
Yeah.
Something once a month. To see.
There should be a fan stream once a month. There should be for their line. If you're doing marketing, that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Holy crap, it's free. You go on. We do this every week, and it's free.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like Emily can go on there, put her feet up on the couch, and talk for 20 minutes once a month. Ain't gonna hurt nothing, right? just my opinion. That would be marketing, wouldn't it? That would be modern marketing. That would be actually being a little more attentive to your customer base. Because let's face it, gentlemen, they want a ton of our money at this point in time.
They could do that, and they could make enough money. She could buy her ottoman to put her feet on there.
It's true. One of those ones that opens up and got magazines in it and stuff, or chip and dip, or pork rinds, or whatever it is she's into. I don't know. And they could turn the camera. Calm yourself here for a second. Brace yourself, Corey. They could turn the camera just right so you could see her whole feet all in the same thing. Right?
Corey just fell out of the chair.
He probably did. Fell right over backwards.
I heard the thump.
Corey's like, they were selling G.I. Joe stuff? Wow.
It wouldn't be the Hasbro live stream. It'd be Emily's Feet episode.
Oh, jeez. OnlyFans.
This week on Emily's Feet.
This week on Emily's Feet, right? Yeah, exactly. Right.
Is that a corn or a callus? What
What did Emily step in this week?
As Emily's feet turn.
As my stomach turns, right? That's terrible.
We gotta quit talking about her. Corey's gonna fall out with a heart
Corey's
attack.
gone. Corey's
Yeah,
gone.
he's out.
He's gone.
I'm missing all these good comments y'all looking at. I don't know what y'all.
You don't see him?
You falling on it or her? He's not into hooves.
Oh, well. Let's be nice now. Let's be nice. She's gonna be on again Friday. Or maybe not. Maybe that other guy will be on there. Maybe.
Foot soldiers.
Foot soldiers, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
No, that's the turtles. Foot
That's
soldiers.
the turtles. What do you got, Shane? Anything cool before we get really in trouble
I
here?
didn't get anything this week myself.
No. I tell you what,
Nothing out there to get.
Well, there ain't a whole lot, is there? I got a shredder that I actually like, and I got to tell you, I've been looking for a long time for a shredder that I actually like. Shredder is one of those characters. Adam will probably agree with me. Maybe he won't. Shredder is one of those characters where either, let's face it, most shredders are really goofy characters. I guess it's kind of what he was supposed to be, so it kind of fits. But this one's actually kind of cool, and it goes with the other turtles that I've got. So, I got a really good deal on him. I think I paid like $12 for him, mint in the box off eBay.
Very nice.
Which was a score because I'd seen it at Second and Charles, and they were, I don't know, it was like $30 they wanted for one, and that was out of the question. But then I got just looking around, and it was just like some guy in Michigan had one, $12. It's like score. So yeah, but Cartoon Shredder is goofy, but some of the other ones that if you look at it, they're just nothing but a walking spike. I mean, it's just kind of like it looks more like a Pokemon. It doesn't, it's just man. I don't know, but I like this one. This one's kind of cool, and it's the same. This best AXN, these loyal subjects figures. So he goes with the turtles, and he goes with that Janela figure that I showed you last week.
Closet, I thought he was Shredder Dean there for a minute.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about, you guys gave me the heads up that these were even showing up. And I had managed to get one of the originals, which I wasn't particularly happy about. But once they announced that the retro carded were coming out and they were going to be different, it was just like, well, you know what? I'll use my original as an officer. He'll have the wolf head and like that, and then I'll get a couple of these guys. I have to tell you, the differences. These are not like the eels. If you ask me, for me personally, I was fortunate enough to get the number of eels that I wanted to when they came out. So it's kind of a moot point, but there's not enough difference between the original eels and the retro carded eels for me to buy retro carded eels. It's just not for me anyways. These snow serpents, these are considerably different than the original. From the kit, the loadout in the kit to the paint and everything else. These are definitely worth getting one or two of, because like I said, there's serious differences between this figure and the original. So with just a couple of these guys, these two, as a matter of fact, is going to be it for me. One of the originals is an officer with a wolf getup, and the Arctic bats that I have in the background. It's an awesome snow squad of cobras, and like I said, these are definitely different than the originals, and worth seeking these out. Yeah.
Chicken head.
Good night.
Good night, chicken head.
Yeah, it's never boring around here. I'll tell you that much. And Best Buy had this Karai figure from the last Ronin. $20. And she's actually rare online, and they've had one sitting over here in Trustville for months. And needless to say, she's not sitting there anymore. She's sitting here.
Wow.
Nice figure. Very cool figure.
She might be good in Modern Electra.
Here's the problem. I got messing around. Emmett was watching something on YouTube the other day, and these last Ronin figures popped up. Hey, Mason.
Don't know, Mason.
Now, I don't pay a whole lot of attention, but I said from the beginning I was going to get Splinter, right? And the Turtles. That was it. Well, here's the problem.
Sucker.
Here's the problem. The boxes, if you get them all and you line them all up, it's one continuous piece of art. So, I will be buying more. I will be buying more of these than I had anticipated.
What is that we always talk about? Rabbit holes?
This is a turtle hole. This is specifically a turtle hole. I'm not particularly happy about it, but the guy on the YouTube showed all of his boxes all lined up, and I have to tell you, it was a really nice piece of art. So it's kind of like, well, you suck, because that goes in. These suckers are NECA figures, which means cha-ching. But I will be happy when this is finished, but it looks very much so like the one that he showed the other day. That was the point of the video, by the way. It looked very much so like that was the end of the run, that there wouldn't be any more last Ronin figures. I haven't been into Turtles, honestly, ever. I bought them for my nephew when they were new, back in, 89 or 90, whatever it was. But I did. I was bored. I was laid up. I read The Last Ronin when Target was running one of their sales, and what a fantastic story that was. And then I did I told you I did the charity thing and got the whole IDW run digitally, and I'm still working on that, which is fantastic. And then it was just like, you know what? I'd like to have those Loyal Subjects figures because those are from the IDW run, and that's been okay. And then the last one that I saw, the first last Ronin figures, it was just like, no, the 4 Turtles and Splinter, that's going to be it. The good news is I have that. I still haven't gotten Mikey. I got to get regular. I got on his way out Porcupine Raph. I got to get the regular one. And then there's just a couple of droids and a foot soldier, and those are in unarmored. Yeah, see? Turtle hole. Unarmored Ronin, and then injured Ronin, which is really kind of a weird figure. He's completely naked, but whatever.
What's that old commercial? How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop?
$37,215.
4 turtles and 1 splinter.
Exactly right. So that's that, because I keep saying, yeah, I probably ought to show you guys this, because I don't know how many of you. I will tell you this much. I have decided that, sadly, I'm basically cutting way back on the McFarlane stuff. If they do, if they do any more of the vampire figures, which Shazam was the last one, I couldn't say no because these have been relatively hard to find. So I did get him. I'm going to stick with the vampires, and any really key Batman characters, which there aren't a lot left, to be trusted, honestly. And then there's only like 4 figures left that I can see myself getting to finish off a classic Justice League, but that's going to be it for McFarlane. I just can't. I'm like everybody else. I can't do everything. I got to cut back. I have decided that I'm really going to stay focused on the classified line. And then when classified dies, I'll go back and putz with my 25th or my OG because that stuff's always going to be there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, I just can't. I just can't keep throwing money at McFarlane, especially at the rate that he's putting stuff out. And most of it, I would be buying out of habit, not because I actually want it. To be perfectly honest with you,
Right.
That Hugo Strange figure, that's classic Batman stuff. I do want that. There's not a whole lot coming out that I just absolutely have to have. Like I said, I'm going to get the Atom, Silver Age Atom, because I've got a really nice, and I got to give credit where credit's due. I've got a very cool Justice League, Silver Age and modern display in the cabinet upstairs in the living room. At this point in time, if I get the Atom. We desperately need a Black Canary. We need a Zatanna, and we need a Hawk Girl. Other than maybe a classic Ollie, and I got to finish my. If anybody has a line on John Stewart with the legs for Plastic Man, let me know. I'll basically be just about done. No, I didn't. Oh yes, the digital one, the Silver Age Hal Jordan. Yes, I do. He's in the display upstairs.
I'm trying to think. I saw an Atom this weekend.
Yeah, he's out. He's out. I just haven't.
Where I saw him at though.
I bought the Longbow Hunter's Green Arrow. Yes, I did because the other 2 Green Arrows they've made are crap. And he's light green, so he's good and colorful. He's definitely not like Silver Age Ollie, or Superpowers Ollie, but he looks good in the display for now. But I did get one. Yes. Yep. Yeah, he looks good enough. He looks good enough for Silver Age.
Definitely a longbow because as long as he is.
Yeah, exactly. That's the Longbow Hunters. That's when they moved him to Seattle, and the book got decidedly more adult. But he looks good. I mean, he's bright colored, so he looks good in the display. But I did get him. I'm cutting way back. Tell you the honest truth. I don't even know how many of these pre-orders. I have to really look at what they come up with and prioritize what's going to get pre-ordered. I will tell you, me personally, I will be prioritizing the claws.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I will too.
I don't have a choice because I don't trust them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not after the ferret. I don't. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't trust them after the Trouble Bubbles either because the Trouble Bubbles sold out instantly and then they were back and then they were gone and then they were back and then they were gone and then they were back and now they're back and they've sat there for months. So I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. So I will. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. But I will tell you this, guys. I've kind of come to the realization. I was telling Amy about this the other day. I was coming to the realization that I need to calm down and not get sucked into this panic buying because I have to be honest with you. The way things are going, an awful lot of this stuff is still going to be available months from now. And the truth is it's going to be cheaper than it is right now. That's my opinion. There are certain things, like I hate to say it, like that ferret, that those are going to retain that price because they underproduce those.
Right.
But an awful lot of this stuff, I hate to say, especially what McFarlane is putting out, you'll be able to get it. I'm not that much of a panic over any of that stuff anymore.
I figure like on Marvel Legends, as many of them that's been hitting Ollie's. I mean, there's tons of Marvel Legends at Ollie's.
Oh, there
I
is.
figured they would cut production on them, but still, you see some of the newer ones hitting Ollie's. And I really want to get the Lockjaw Crystal 2-pack, but $70. It's $70 for the 2-pack. And that one, I'm thinking, because I see a lot of people really don't want it. So I'm thinking I'm gonna hold out and see if I can catch it at Ollie's. I may regret it, and it may be $200 6 months from now on eBay. But I can't see paying $70 for that 2-pack. I just can't.
No,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Lockjaw is a deluxe figure. He is a big figure, but if you figure 20 for Crystal, that's 50 for Lockjaw. And I don't know. It just seems a lot to me. I don't know, maybe
no, I'm sorry, but you're absolutely right. It is a lot. We were at the store. We were at Target yesterday, and they got the Joker Punchline 2-packs, which I'd seen at GameStop. The one at GameStop here in Trustville is still sitting there. It's been sitting there for a month. I've looked at it, and I've looked at Bloom and the Rookie 2-pack at Target. Both of those 2-packs are pretty important Batman stuff, and I would like to have both of them. Then I have not bought either one of them because, to tell you the truth, I told Amy that. I said, look, you know what? If you want to, here's an idea for my birthday in November. If you want to get me one or the other of those, that'd be great. She took pictures, and off I go, because I can't justify spending $70 on a 2-pack.
It's $70, huh?
The Bloom and Rookie is $70.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it is.
Bloom and Rookie,
I thought you were just talking about the other one.
Oh no, Joker and Punchline are what? Still $60, $50, $60, whatever.
Well, they were $39, but I was able to get mine for $33, being a GameStop member.
Oh, you did really well then. Yeah. I just can't. I'm not in that place right now. I just can't do it. Maybe that's the signed ones that showed up at Target. That's why they're the more expensive. I don't matter. I just can't.
They mentioned the articulation on Lockjaw. The one thing I do like about it is they give him two pair of legs, one from sitting down, one from standing up. I wish they'd done something like that with Timber, because as much as I like Timber, his legs just look weird to me.
They're over articulated.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, and it just kind of makes it look kind of weird. I don't know.
Yep. No, I agree.
On another note, correction. This is Ironheart, the Riri Williams from the Ursa Major, and this Iron Man, he come out in the Shang-Chi wave with Mr. Hyde Build-A-Figure. So just to correct that, so somebody don't get confused.
Nice.
I like trying to get my facts right when I can. It bothered me, so I had to look it up.
I'm the same way.
I got to tell you, I discovered that Google search with the camera. Boy, that thing is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate Google. I hate them with a passion. But that particular service is, I just wish why can't some one of these billionaires create a cool company that does all that cool stuff, but doesn't have to be a bunch of scumbags elsewhere in the world? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's the way it always is. So that's been it for me. I mean, I shouldn't have, but I did. I picked up those snow serpents and that shredder and that Karai figure. Because, like I said, she was $20. It's I guess I will, especially now that I'm apparently building a poster too. So, that's been it. I have to tell you, I was very pleased to see that the Werewolves versus Mounties was funded.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty happy about that. Happy for Larry Hama on that front. And one of the larger webcasts that talks about comics actually did a show specifically about that, and how Larry Hama was treated by Hasbro. And I learned something in that Larry would never say. This one really kind of disgusted me, because it was actually, they quoted Hasbro. They figure somewhere in the neighborhood of between $1 and $2 billion GI Joe has produced for Hasbro. $1 and $2 billion in sales. Larry Hama never got a penny of it. He got his page count and he got his pay for writing, but that was it. He never got any residuals at all. And he didn't even get a freaking Christmas bonus from those a-holes. You want to know why? Because Hasbro was asked about this about 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what their reason was? They came right out and told the interviewer that if they paid Larry Hama any kind of residuals or any kind of bonus or any kind of anything beyond what he had already been paid, it would set a precedent. Then they'd have to pay everybody else too.
But who else? I mean, they would be paying him for his work on the file card, because his work on the comic, Marvel should have paid him for that, right?
He got his page count. That's it. But let's face it, if he hadn't built those characters and built that comic book, that toy line never would have done what it did.
But he wrote the file cards that they used on the toys. He should have got something for that.
Nope, nothing. Because if that answer to that was if we pay him, we'll set a precedent. Then we'll have to pay everybody.
But who else is writing file cards for stuff? Nobody.
Well, no, but I mean, their mindset is they would have to pay all the Marvel creators for the toys that they're making now.
Yeah.
And George Lucas would still be getting a piece of the pie from everything Star Wars and blah blah. The point is, it's a complete and total crap answer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they talked about the budget for that stupid movie, right? There were 3 of them. Let's not forget that. 3 of them. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars making those 3 crap movies. Hasbro could have easily said, "Hey, you know what? This is going to sound ridiculous." This was.
Yeah.
Hey, have a good night, bud. This was the point that they made. You know what? Hasbro could have gone in there and go, "Hey, you know what? We're going to slip a consultant fee of $1 million to Larry Hama." No one would have ever been the wiser, right? They make a phone call. He consults them on the characters. You pay him. You say, "Thanks, Larry, for helping us make all this money over the last 40 years. Have a nice life." Nope. I'm sorry. I know not everybody likes Larry Hama. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I don't. The fact of the matter is that Hasbro really took advantage of him and mistreated him badly. I don't care what your opinion is of the man. He built that brand, and they pocketed the money, and now he's a 75-year-old man that sits around and has to go around doing signatures at cons because he doesn't have the money to retire. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But with that said, I am happy. I am happy that book is funded now. I really wish it had seen more support, but you guys know it as well as I do. That's kind of the way it is with collectors anyways, but
who's writing the 5 cards now?
I think you just want to know who's writing the file cards.
I don't know who's writing them.
It's probably just stuff from the old card.
Yeah, most of it is just an abbreviated version of the old file card.
I think you're right.
That's all it is. Yeah, it doesn't get into some of the personal stuff and things like that. It's just an abbreviated version of the original.
Yeah. It's because it's multi-language now, so there's really not much information.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like Beachhead. Beachhead was a lane instructor at Ranger School and observer advisor to Covert Ops School in Central America. He's meticulous, patient, strong-willed. He doesn't get angry. He gets even. That was written by Larry Hama.
Mm-hmm.
I just find it ridiculous. I know I'm on a tear on this, but I just don't. I think people, as the Bible says, a laborer is worth his wages. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They made a ton of money. Now, a decent, respectful company would turn around and reciprocate, right? But that Hasbro makes great stuff, and I will continue to buy their stuff. But I have to tell you, corporately, I don't like them at all. I just don't. So, but you know what? We're going through this same thing with these guys that are aging out now. You're finding out how bad the comic book companies specifically, treated all of those guys so poorly that, you know.
Do you think maybe Hasbro's got a pedicure budgeted in there for Emily on there?
Wouldn't surprise me any. Wouldn't surprise me any. They take her to the vet once a month and get them clipped. And okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
Well, we gotta get off this feet talk, man.
Yeah, we got to get off our feet, right? I just said take her to the vet and get clipped, and the dog got all nervous behind me.
He heard vet. He made mine bark.
Actually, he's snoring away, man. He don't care. So, okay, that's enough of that tier. But I am glad if you guys did support that. Thank you very much for supporting that. Very, very nice. I hope that when that book shows up next year, it's a good one. That's all I can say. But it was worth. It was a good cause. So
I've never seen nothing he's done bad. It's always turned out good.
Well, people got mad at him because he said that if he could do it all over again, he'd have made Snake Eyes Japanese. Who freaking cares? Right? I mean, Larry Hama is of Japanese descent. He has a right to be proud of his heritage too. Right? I mean, come on. Let's get.
You never see his face anyway, except for in the earlier. Right. So, I mean, what does it matter?
Right. Who cares?
And who knew that the original Snake Eyes, when he finally took his mask off, it was just Falcon in disguise.
It was still hideous.
Yeah. It's just, whatever, you know. And is he 100% patient with every zipper neck that wanders into the cons? No. Does he need to be? No. I mean, whatever. Is he liberal? Yeah, he's a New York liberal. He grew up he lives in New York. He's a liberal. Who cares? He's not a progressive. He's not one of these nutbags that are running around now. He's just a classic liberal. Mm-hmm. Who cares? Right? Corey, you're about to get the week off.
Quit being a tot.
Whatever. I'm happy that it funded. That's that. Wish him all the best. I still want to try to do something, but I don't know. I've got an idea, but I just don't know. We'll figure it out, I guess.
Hey, I see we're almost out of time, but one last thing. The Gadsden Con in February, tables are selling out quick. So anybody wants one, they better grab one.
There you go. And PostCon Friday at noon, our time. I'm expecting some pre-orders. I'm expecting some digital renders, and I'm expecting some name-only reveals. Right?
Yep.
I think it's going to be the standard program, and hopefully more vehicles get announced. Hopefully. October 19th and 20th, which is very closer than you think. Rocket City, Huntsville. Consider checking that out. Not a bad thing. Did we get a new page from Joe Lanta for the very last weekend of this month? That's at a new venue. We talked about it briefly last week. That one's $25 a head, so keep that in mind.
Yep. And also, they announced yesterday Sergeant Slaughter will be there again.
No, there you go. So, Adventure Commando, Astro Commando, Harbinger Studios, Savage Crucibles, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, Action Force, Valorverse, Brutal, Realm Toys.
And like John said.
Yep, there you go. There you go. So
check them out.
The venue. So they're just moving to a different portion of the building, correct? To have more space. Same place, just different.
Yeah, same place, just different area.
Going from like 40 spots to 100 spots, I think.
Well, there you go. So that's that.
I've reserved 3 spots myself.
There you go. That's it. That's it for this week, gentlemen. I suppose. We will no doubt have more to talk about after the PulseCon on Friday, and whatever else comes up in the meantime. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm expecting things to be relatively quiet for a while. Don't forget that Target is doing their fall geek out. There's new exclusives that show up.
3 more Fridays.
3 more. Yep. So the first one was some McFarlane animated Batman stuff. This past Friday was a couple of Thundercats, and what were the other 2?
I don't remember what it was.
Can't remember what they were. So just keep that in mind. There was also the Walmart Collector Con starts this weekend coming up too, at the same time as PulseCon. So they're doing the same thing that they did last year. So my guess is there's probably more Night Force Walmart exclusives going to pop up Friday for pre-order.
Yay!
So if you do the Night Force stuff, keep that in mind. I'm glad I remembered that because I had forgotten all about that. I didn't do Night Force, but anyways. You all set, guys? I think that's about it, ain't it?
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Thanks guys.
For joining us. Like and subscribe.
Bye.